Great.
I'd love to see everybody too. I hope people will turn their camera on.
Yes, welcome everyone. Okay, we're going to begin in one moment. Just letting the last few participants in. Oh. All right, I think we're good to begin. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, this late summer, beautiful, warm afternoon. I can tell you personally, I've been so looking forward to this webinar with Gertrude Létourneau. And I've been, just really looking forward to hearing about working with dementia patients and bridging the gap. Just want to share a couple of things before few more people are joining us at the last moment. That's just fine. And I just wanted to talk about a few things that are going on here at Room 217. We have our conference coming up. November 23rd is our conference date, but our early bird pricing ends on September 15th. So that's next week. So if you're looking to get tickets, don't forget. It's a fantastic conference. If you haven't been to one of our conferences, it's somewhere between a concert and a conference. This year we've got Jackie Richardson, who's an award-winning gospel, jazz, R&B singer, fantastic performer. We've also got Brian Harris, who's the co-founder of Med Rhythms from Boston, Massachusetts, worked with Harvard University. And he's a neurological music therapist, and he's an incredible presenter. We've also got Emily Folks, who's the founder of Singing for Health Network. And that's just a few of the extremely interesting and exciting events from our conference. We've got our upcoming trainings. So our level 3 is continuing education certification course that trains professionals, volunteers, and family caregivers for the intentional use of music in care settings. That is ongoing right now, but we've got our level 1 coming up right in October 15th and 16th, and our level 2 begins November 14th to 15th. And then our next level 3 starts January 2025. So these particular trainings are virtual, but we do offer an in-person exclusive if you're interested in that. So on October 9th is our next webinar. We've got Carolyn Bloomer from Larch, London, Canada. She is a music therapist, and her webinar is Making Room for Meaningful Relationships, from Access and Accommodations to Building a Sense of Belonging and Well-Being. Now, I'm hearing myself, so I'm getting some feedback, Tanya. You know why? No, I don't know if, are you all hearing? Oh, it stopped now. Okay. So our webinars, just to remind you, every second Wednesday of the month, and they do count for CEU hours. All of our presenters are industry experts and inspiring stories of music and care, and you can register through Eventbrite. So for all of those of you who do not know about our Certify program, Music Care Certify is our wonderful program for organizations. It's an achievement program, the first in Canada to recognize excellence in the use and delivery of music to improve quality of life and care. So are you getting that feedback? Are you not? Sorry about that, everyone. It just keeps coming and going. We do have discovery meetings where we take time to give a more thorough discussion about what certified means. And so we're doing a special one tomorrow for individuals. That's at 2 p.m. So certified for individuals is when you're on your own and you're interested in taking to become certified as an individual. For organizations, our next discovery meeting is on October 10th at 2 p.m. So you can contact Tanya at the email below for a link to the meetings. And now I'd like to pass. I'm just going to escape out of this and stop sharing. One moment, please. Thank you for being patient. Oh. I am going to pass over. All right. To Gertrude Létourneau to introduce her and to begin her her webinar. So thank you so much, Gertrude. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Jill. Hello, everybody. I really would like if everyone would turn their camera on. It's much nicer to see faces. This is about building bridges. Thank you, Margaret and Leanne. So building bridges easier when we see people. Thank you very much. So turn your camera on. Yes, I see some smile. Thank you, Marie. And oh, Marie, I know Marie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Merci, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Well, so I'm very happy to share this with you today, this webinar. Just a little correction, Jill. My name is actually Gertrude. Aha. Oh,
Gertrude.
yeah, Gertrude.
That
But
sounds so
a lot
much
of, a lot,
nicer.
yeah, that's why I stick to it. And
Absolutely.
seniors often call me Trudy, so Trudy is allowed,
Um,
senior or not, Trudy is allowed. Anyway,
absolutely.
so in November 2000, I walked in a long-term care facility for the first time to audition for a position as a physician. It's called the Pearly Health. It used to be Pearly Rideau Veterans Health Center. And when I walked in there for my audition, it was in a locked unit. I felt very uncomfortable. I could see some residents in their huge, those big Broda chairs. Others were walking kind of aimlessly, a little drool. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can work here or not. So I don't know if that has happened to you or not, to work in the long-term care and feel not so sure, a bit uncomfortable. Do I see nod or not? So what I did to start is I learned their names, and then I had a little song. I had a little song just to start. Oh, by the way, all the names that I'm going to use today are all different. Anyway, it was veterans, World War II and Korean veterans, people, men of that generation, because it was mostly men. It's all Bob or Bill or John or Jim. So anyway, so I started with the names, and I sang, hello, Charles, hello, hello, Sharon, hello, hello, Marie, hello. Bon, I had a hello song. So then once I knew their names, it was not the drooling man anymore. It was not the one in the Broda chair, or it was Charles or Mike or Jim. So it really made a huge difference. And it just, there were people with some limitations. And my role is to take them out of that bubble of limitations in a place where they are still well. So one of the songs I sang at this audition was the famous, maybe you feel like singing, I don't know, Edelweiss. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, etc., etc. So I had this tall man stood up, Chuck. He stood up, and then he came really close to me. And I thought, oh my God, what's going to happen? You know, a locked unit. Is it dangerous? So then he started to whistle. So I stood up and I whistled too with him. And then, well, the magic happened. I was hooked. And I stayed in this job for 23 years. Just to give you a little background on me, I'm back. You might see the fleur de lis in the back. And I did a bachelor degree in music in Ottawa and a master's in flute performance at the University of Montreal. I did some private studies in the States, then came back I did in communication skills program. Then I did another one at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London, performance and communication skills. And when I came back to Canada, I went back to Toronto and I was teaching. I got a job to teach kids with learning disabilities. I'm not sure what the right term is. There was some children with autism, Down syndrome, and all that. So people, young adults and children with limitations. So you can see where that led me to where I worked at this facility called Pearly Health with elderly with dementia with limitations. And at the same time, I was also freelancing, did some work in orchestra, phantom, and I had a trio. Anyway, I performed across Canada doing chamber music concerts. But back to our subject. So in this webinar today, I'm going to explore 3 topics: to meet the person where he or she is, songs as a fabulous tool to build bridges, and allowing yourself to receive. This way the bridge is built from both ends. So meeting the person where he is. There was a veteran, a Navy veteran, his name, I'll call him James today, and he was a World War II Navy vet. So every Friday morning, I would go see him after breakfast in the dining room. He was sitting alone. He would see me, in the hallway. I would come to him slowly, and I would have my name tag to the right. So then when I say, "Hi, James," his eyes are directed here. Then he can say, "Oh, hi, Trudy." And then so I would come and see him every week, and he loved the flute. He loved the flute, so he would say, "Have you brought your flute today?" And this was his favorite song. Anybody knows what it is? Beautiful Dreamer. Yeah, did that? Beautiful Dreamer. So one day I came to see him same way. And then he looked at me and he was saying, "No, no, no." And I said, "Well, James, I brought my flute." "No." And with fear in his eyes. So then, and he was saying, "They're here. They're watching us and they're here." And I said, "They're here. Are you sure?" "Yes, I'm sure." I was not going to debate that. What do I know? Maybe they were here and I didn't see them. So, and I said, "I brought my flute." He said, "No." And finally I said, "Oh, I'm really tired. Can I just sit down for a couple of minutes?" And then he agreed. So I took my little stool. I always carry a stool on my cart. So I always have a seat at the table. So I sat down. So I was in. And then he was going on about that, about they're here and they're watching us. They are watching us. And he was looking at a painting on the wall. And I want to share my screen. I wanted you to see that painting. Let's see here. Do you see that painting? Yes? So I was looking at the painting and I said to him, "Well, that's a beautiful painting." I said, "I see the ocean, And then he said, I'm just going to stop sharing if I can see the button to stop sharing. Hang on a second, without my glasses. Where's that sharing button? I can't see. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Okay, stop share. There we go. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. So I said, this is the ocean. He said, no, it's a lake. It's a German lake, and they're watching us. So see, in the painting, there were little lights there. You could see under the shore. So that's what he was seeing. So he was back. He was back during the war. So I stayed with him and I let him talk. And he was saying things about they come here and they don't want to follow our laws. And so it was a mix of that, you know. I don't know if it was about immigrants, so I don't know. But, and I said, yes, if they come to Canada, they have to follow our laws. And so then I said, and it was just before Canada Day, and there was a little Canadian flag by the window. So I said to him, I said, I have a song I'd like to play for you on my flute. If you don't like it, I'll stop right away. So he agreed. He said yes. I took the flute out and I played this. He let me play the whole thing. And then after, he looked at me and his eyes were watery. And so were mine, just watching him. And he said, that was beautiful. And I said, yeah, it's a beautiful song. I said, it makes your eyes watery, me too. I said, it makes us emotional. It still makes me emotional telling the story. So anyway, we carried on, and then I said, I should keep my flute here, because I said, I have another song, played another song, another one, and then I ended up with this one. Being a sailor, right? The sailor's hornpipe. So then I left. Then I saw a nurse in the hallway, and I told her the story. And she said, oh, I got to see how he is. So we came back to see him. And then she said, oh, hi, James. And she said, what do you think of that painting? And he said, well, I don't know, nothing. So it was gone. So we changed that painting that very afternoon. So I'm asking you, like in the chat, why don't you take a moment and write down, what did I do? What did I do to meet the person where he is, you know? I'm going to look at the chat too. I should look here. Where's the chat? There we go. Feedback comes from others listening. Okay. You moved his focus. Yes. Yeah. We redirect. We do that with people with dementia. We redirect. You did not argue. Use the music to come and connect. You went into his reality first. Yeah. Yeah. You have to imagine yourself seeing people watching us. Yeah. And this makes me think also, it makes me think it's not always easy doing that, especially when it's your loved one. We've got other things here. Agreed with what he was saying. Yeah. And redirect got him in the moment with the song. With the song he remembered. Yeah, exactly. You agree. And I was going to say that my mother had Alzheimer's disease too, and she was looking for her little blue book. And anyway, somebody stole it and all that. And when it's your loved one, you just want them to be back the way they work so much. So I know it's not easy. So yeah, agreeing and all that, and find an entry point. Having my little stool there and being tired, the little stool really, then you can sit down. You can come. You can. The door opens a little bit, and bringing the person to a place where he or she is well, his true self, and that comes into his reality that was written in the chat. And then for those of you, I don't know if there are any musicians in here, but not only musician, in a way, when you are in front of an audience, you give a concert. It's a gift. So when you give something, well, you give what you can give, but also what the gift is according to the receiver. So if you're a musician doing a concert, and then can you change the order of your program just to fit the mood of the audience? Do you have a backup tune, a backup song to say, well, things have to be more exciting here, or whoa, we need to calm things down, to see where the audience is, to think about what the audience wants to hear. So that's about meeting the person where he or she is. Are there any questions about that before I go on to my next topic? Oh, Marie. Are you writing something, Marie?
I think you just have to make sure to unmute yourself, Marie.
Oh yeah. Best to memorize songs. Oh, well, yes, it is. It is. But there are ways of. That's a good question. There are ways also of. See, I've got a piece of paper here with my notes on it. So if you don't memorize, if it's a song, for example, you can have your lyrics, but then you say, I don't know, say, you are my sunshine, but then you keep the contact like this, because we can't yes, exactly. You can't memorize everything. So about songs, it's a great tool to redirect, indeed. So about songs, and it's a great tool to build bridges. About songs, there's three things I'm going to talk about in the songs in that second part. The song being a great tool for the recognition of one true self, where they're still well. It's a great tool for social interaction, to build bridges between each other in a group, for example, or between the two of you, and also singing for the joy of it. So for the recognition of themselves, when a resident with dementia doesn't know where he is or she is, doesn't know where his wife is, where his car is, and then when dinner is going to be, and then you sing a song that they recognize. This, I know this, I recognize this. So I was walking in the hallway with my cart, with my ukulele, and this man, Bob, I'll call him Bob, he sees me. And I used to see him, every week, and he was in the choir and all that. And he sees me and he says, oh, what are you up to? Is that a great line when you don't know the name of a person or what they do? You say, what are you up to? So I said, well, I'm here to play music, and I've got this one, was close to Christmas. So I said, okay. So I said, jingle bells, jingle bells. Anyway, I'll spare the rest. It's too soon for that. But then, of course, he sat with me. He started to sing all the words. So that was something he really knew. That was part of himself, that song. For me, the songs that are part of me is when I was a teenager and I listened to groups like Beau Dommage, Harmonium, the singers from the 70s, Jean-Pierre Ferland. That's me. I don't know about you. What song or what singers can you say, that's me, it's part of me? Write that down. I want to see a couple of singers or songs or type of song where you say, oh yes, that makes me feel me. The Beatles, the Beatles. Thank you. Yeah, for many people, yes, Beatles. Yeah, for sure. Anything else? I'll share something. We got Sting. I love Sting. I love Sting too. Thank you. um, I want to say we got something. ABBA, of course. I guess we're all from the same generation. I guess. um, for I give workshop also for musicians on stage presence. I see something else. ABBA, and after a workshop, part of the workshop at some point is when you come to do a concert, it's not just you, the musician, it's all of you who comes on stage. You're presenting all of you. The audience is interested in all of you. So then this participant told me after, she said, to be conscious of that is all me with my strength, my weaknesses. And then she said, just by being conscious of this, it made her much more at ease being on stage. And when I say on stage, we're all on stage in a way. If you are working with residents with dementia, you present yourself. You're in front of a group if you're in a recreation. So it's all, I say musicians, but it's really anyone who's in front of an audience. And we probably all are. Another thing also for the songs are great to build bridges between when you are in front of a group between people, because if you oh yes, I was singing this song in September last year when it's time, the school time, and there's an old song called School Days. And it goes like this: school days, dear old golden rule days, reading and writing, arithmetic, etc. So I was singing that. Oh yeah, and then it says, taught to the tune of a hickory stick. So then I was with, it was mostly men in my group, veterans, and talking about the old days at school. So then I said, well, did you get the stick, or the strap? In those days they were doing that. So then Bill would say, for example, and he would say, oh yeah, I got the strap because I say, hold on, Bill. So then I go to the whole group and I say, Bill got the strap. He did. Okay, let's find out why. Because the thing is, he doesn't speak very loudly. The members, the participants, the residents don't hear well. So you want to really include everybody in his story, because he's going to tell us why he got the strap. What? You smoke he got caught smoking behind the school. Oh, he got caught. So then you go back and forth. And then you'll have, I don't know, Albert on the other side say, well, I got the strap. Well, he got the strap. So then you make it a bit theatrical, but then you involve everybody in each story. Because I'm sure if you have worked with elderly people who have dementia, sometimes they go on with their story and on, and it's just one person talking and nobody understands. So you interrupt, so hang on, we gotta, and then you're back and forth. So then everybody laughs, everybody is involved. You got the bridge all with everybody. Also, yeah. So, and again, if you are in a bigger audience, being a musician or otherwise, a musician introducing your pieces, you have to be heard. You have to use a microphone. If you're in a facility and you're doing a presentation or you are introducing musicians who are coming, whatever, use a microphone. There's no point talking if you are not heard. No point. And practice with the microphone. If you are in recreation and you introduce for an event, you have to use a microphone. Practice with the microphone. Very important. And of course, the third thing about singing, well, for the joy, just for the joy of singing. When my son was really young, if he hurt himself, and then cry a bit, and then after that, I would hear him play and hum or sing. Then you say, oh, he's okay now. So when we sing, I think we're okay. And I used to say that I was bringing joy to people, but I think, oh, bring your own microphone, I assume. Yes, well, yeah. That's the best, really, because you know how it works. Um, about the joy, I used to say I was bringing joy, but really, I really believe that we all have the joy inside us, and the music is a great tool to let that joy out. But you might think, and it's true, that not all songs bring joy. And an example of that is I was singing Lily Marlene with a group of World War II veterans. Actually, this was a number of years ago because we have less and less World War II veterans. So I was singing Lily Marlene. You might know this. Underneath the lantern by the barricade, darling, I remember the way you used to wait. 'Twas there that you whispered tenderly that you loved me, you'd always be my lily of the lamp, like my own Lily Marlene. So we were singing that together, and I was using lyrics. I would print black on white paper, big font, a song pack, 10 songs. So then we have that, in an hour session. And then I'm saying that because if it's small font, they can't see. The black and white, you can see better. You can bold it. And Rezan was telling me, actually, the space is more important than the size of the font. So instead of a single, you put 1.5. So just little tips about that. So after singing the song, this man, Henry, he said to us, he said, I know it in German. Would that be okay to sing it in German? He said, I don't want to offend anybody. World War II veterans, German, so you understand. So I asked the group, everybody said, no, that's fine, go ahead. He sang the whole song in German. Then he started bawling, not just crying. He was just weeping, the poor man. And he was saying, they were young too. I hope they forgive me. Because on their belt, apparently, these German soldiers, they had something like God be with us or something like that. So he was expressing the guilt of killing. Yeah, and it's something that he had never expressed ever to anyone, not his wife, his children. And that song just brought that out, that guilt. So, what do we do when someone is crying like this? So, it was a bit at the beginning of my career, and I was unsure, but I just went to him and put my arm around the shoulders and just stayed with him. And then he calmed down, and I offered him to stay or to leave. He wanted to stay, and then I referred that information to his circle of care. Any ideas from you? What do we do when someone cries like that? Must have happened to you. I know when I cry, my husband wants to fix it right away. We want to
I think
fix it, eh? We
I
want
think
to fix it.
sometimes there's so much you can do, but I think sometimes maybe you can pull them out of the group. Like sometimes they need that time maybe to reflect on their feelings. Can pull them out and have yourself or another staff talk to them. Because
Yeah,
sometimes it's personal information talking in front of a big group as well.
yeah. Yeah, thank you for that, Taralyn. Thank you. You're right. Yeah, that's why I asked him if you wanted to stay or not. But you're right. That's certainly a thing to do. Yeah, for sure. But that's the thing. We want to fix it, and we often we can't, so we have to be with the person, and in some cases redirect, with sometimes with food, sometimes with a glass of juice, or another song. And again, the tools to redirect. And we talked about that with the first story too, the tools to redirect another song, some food, another activity. Now we have iPads or things like that that can help to redirect when we can. And and for when you are a musician who's doing a program, a concert, then of course the variety in your concert, because you don't have the, sometimes you play music and you'll see someone cry. So then, another song, you might want to change your program, but to have that different selections would certainly help. Okay, so we did the meeting the person where he or she is, songs, and my third topic is receiving. Arthur was a fan of music with Trudy being me. So every week he would come to the music and he would teach me song. He taught me this one. It's called Darktown Strutter's Ball. I'll be there to get you in a taxi, honey. Better be ready about 8:30. Now, dearie, don't be late. I want to be there when the band starts playing. Remember, etc., etc. So he taught me that song, and he was bringing songs and all that. And when there was music with Trudy, if he had a dentist appointment at that time, he would say, no, I'm not going to the dentist, it's music with Trudy. So as you can imagine, I felt really good. He was one of my favorite fans. This, what did I call him? Arthur this time. But there came a time when, well, he was dying. That's what happened in long-term care. And so I went to see him for the last time, and I sang to him, I'm sure. And I got out of his room. He was still, with me, but I knew it was the last time. So I got out of the room and I walked down the hallway, and I was just crying. It was so sad. And then Kevin, in his room, he was sitting on his bed. He saw me walk down the hallway and said, Trudy. He said, what's wrong? Well, I said, I can't remember. I'm forgetting the names I'm using. Anyway, Arthur. I said, well, Arthur is dying, and I'm really sad about that. So I sat beside him on the bed, and he just put his hand on my hand, and then he sang to me. You'll never know just how much I love you. You'll never know just how much I care. So as you can imagine, I was not crying less. I was crying more. But anyway, he was, and it makes me emotional every time. And this has been almost 15 years, I think. But he was there for me. He was giving me what I would have given him. And I could have, when he talked to me and I was in the hallway, I just wanted to go to the office and cry by myself. But I let myself be vulnerable and say that I can be sad too. And to really show my true self, my authenticity. And I was really grateful for his gift. And when you allow the person to give you something and you receive it, then he is contributing to building that bridge and that relationship. But the continuation of that story is that 2 days later, I went to see him to invite him to the music. And the nurse said, oh, Kevin is not well today. He won't go to your music. He's really not in bed. Oh, I said, I'll go see him anyway. And so I went to see him, and I said, Kevin, what? He was in his bed, in the fetal position like this, and he said, what? I said, it's true. With my smile, it's true, Yeah. What? So I said, well, I came to thank you. He said, oh, what for? I said, yesterday, or 2 days ago, whenever, I was very sad, and you sang to me. Then I sang to him, you'll never know just how much I love you. So I sang him the same song. So then from this face that he had, he went like this. Just a little bit. And then so then again I thought, I'm in, that kind of entry point you need. And then so anyway, I sang the song, and then started to talk to him. And so from this position, he opened up, and he was laying on his bed, but opened up, and he came to my music group after talking to him. So and I would like to know. So again, on receiving, because we are giver. I'd like to know if you can put in the chat what you do. Are you caregivers? Are you in recreation? Are you a family member? Are you a musician? Write down who you are. Bon. Former family members, recreation, and musician. Okay, family member and musician, day program, and client service as a musician, family caregiver, pastoral care. Yes, of course, yes. Yeah, so we are givers, right? So we have to really let ourselves receive. And because if you go 100% of the way all the time, then you don't give the chance for the person to build that part of the bridge and to be part of it and to be heard. Because then you acknowledge what they're saying, and you're telling them that what they're saying is important. It's like, musicians. How many times do we see musicians finish a concert, they bow, they leave? So it's like if they're saying to the audience, you're a bunch of idiots for applauding. I made so many mistakes today. So really, to accept, receive these applauds. So same thing with our residents who have dementia. I had a resident who he would always ask for this song. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Well. And then, on and on. And then when his daughter was there, she would say, well, Dad, we already sang it, But one time she wasn't there. And I said, you know what? I'm going to sing it every time he asks for it. I sang it 6 times in an hour. And then what? Did anybody say, oh, we sang that again? Nobody said that. They either didn't know, or if they did, they were not sure if we had or not. So, and then everybody felt great. So letting ourselves receive, it's like this, at the very beginning when I talked about Chuck, who was whistling, to take what he was giving me and use that and to accept, I said that to accept the unexpected. And sometimes we are asked for songs also that we don't know. Great, I don't know this song. Sing it to me. How does it go? Or now I do a lot. I'm not at Pearly Health anymore. I do a lot of retirement homes. So when they ask me a song, great, it's going to be a new song. So when I go back, I learn the song and I sing it for the person. So that's such a great way to relate to the audience. And so and on receiving, sometimes it's okay not to receive. I was singing this song. I can't give you anything but love. Then it goes, baby, right? That's how the song goes. And the baby comes back. So I was in the front, again, a group of veterans, and I wanted them to sing more with more pizzazz. So I said to this veteran, I said, Hector, come on, give me a baby. He said, anytime, girl. So as I was saying that, I said, oh, I was blushing. I wanted to take it back. So anyway, sometimes you don't necessarily accept that. Time flies, eh? So just to review, I don't know if you have that little PowerPoint or not.
I do. Yeah, that was. Thank you so much, Gertrude. I do have the PowerPoint, so I am now going to share my screen.
Just before you do that, Jill, I just
Yeah.
want to add one last thing. I talked about, residents dying, and I was in a singing workshop, and the teacher, the facilitator, the coach, I was crying a lot related to a song. But because when you're in the facility for 23 years, there's 450 residents at Pearly Health. A third of them die every year. That's a lot of death that you have to process, and I'm sure many of you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I was crying, and she said, "Oh, it's so beautiful, what you do, your job." I said, "Yes, but they all die." And then she said, "Your job is a job of passeur," she said in French. Un passeur, that's a ferry person. So you take the person from one shore on your ferry. You try on the ferry to give them the best quality of life. But then at some point you get to the other shore and you have to let them go. So that really helped me to have that metaphor about that. So go ahead, Jill. We're just going to review what we talked about today. So meeting the person where he or she is, the songs at grade 2 to build bridges, and allowing yourself to receive. A bridge is built from both ends. Next slide.
Go.
Meeting the person. Make room inside yourself to imagine what it is to be the other, to feel what she's feeling. Find an entry point, the little stool. Bring the person to a place where he is well, his true self. Yes. And the songs to build bridges, recognition of true self. Building a bridge with your true self using a meaningful song. And building bridges with others, connecting everyone during a story and for the joy of singing. And finally, receiving. Acknowledge what the other is saying. You're telling them that's what they say is important to them, to you, and they feel engaged in building the bridge between you and them. Okay, thank you. And accept the unexpected with people with dementia, right? That's so true. And then there's a last slide with my how to reach me. And I actually, oh yes, I have a gift. A present. So to all the attendees today, I will send you a guide. It's called 5 Tips for Musicians to Improve Their Stage Presence. And really, I've given this workshop also for non-musician, anybody who has to be on a stage. It can be helpful. So I will send that to you, to all the attendees today. And I think we have 10 minutes for questions. You're welcome. Anybody has any questions?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
My question is, do you have any suggestions? And we're working on it at our day program because there's a lot of different age groups in our day program, a lot of different song interests. Do you have any suggestions? Because sometimes we play music and some people are not as into it. And so we find we have to do it kind of more in groups. So do you have any suggestions regarding kind of different age and how to incorporate everybody in the music?
It's interesting you say that because I just did a concert 2 weeks ago at the Children's Hospital in Ottawa. And and then that was my puzzle, because for children I'm used for elderly people. So we did having instrumental music for all age. It's for all ages, really. I actually took songs from The Wizard of Oz, because a lot of children know them. A lot of it's so. Wizard of Oz, and what's the other one we did? Mary Poppins. We did a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. We were at the children's hospital. So because I don't know what's current for children. My children are older, so I don't know if you're talking about children, but or different age, adults now, seniors, or closer to my own age, so I have to review my repertoire as well. But instrumental music, you can use that actually for activities that would suit. That was my suggestion.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Could I add something?
Yes, Marie.
At one of the previous conferences when we were online during COVID, there was someone, I think in England, who had suggested that you look back in the years when these people would have been teenagers at the 10 hit songs on the charts. And I thought that was a really good idea.
You're right, because it's the songs that, when I talk about the songs that are really me, it's the songs from my teenagers years. And people said Beatles, exactly. And it's the same for these older people. It's really songs from their teenagers years. But interestingly enough, sometimes when I have younger people in the audience, and they would recognize or like the songs. Oh, my parents used to play that all the time. So it could be that too, and that that helps to that. Yeah. Anything else? I can tell you I can tell you another story about meeting the person, where he or she is. I was visiting a resident in her room. She was always in her chair, and would chat with her. And one time I went to see her, and she was in bed, which was really unusual. And she was like this. And then I said, "Hey, Carol," I said, how are you? "I am waiting." And I said, "What are you waiting for?" "I am waiting for God to come and take me." Oh. I said, "Can I wait with you?" "Oh, yes, okay." So then I said, "We can, I can sing you a song." "Oh, yes." "How about Christmas song?" "Oh, no, that would not be appropriate." About hymns, because I knew, of course, she was really religious and liked hymn. "Oh, yes." So then I sang a hymn. Then I said, "Well, I guess he hasn't come yet. How about another song?" "How about another song?" So then another number. So after 20 minutes, okay. "Oh, well," I said, "maybe he'll come another day, but not today." So, and then I saw her later. I passed by her room, and she was sitting in her chair. And anyway, so that's another way to reach the person where he or she is. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. For you like the tips. Remember reading about Ruth Bright, who worked in Australia in the 70s or earlier, and said we should memorize 5 pieces for each era of music. That's a fantastic idea. That was decades ago, so not as many needed to be known as now. Yeah. That's a very good idea. I don't know if you... Yeah, very good. I don't know if you know Tipa Snow. She's fantastic. But yeah, I see Tipa. Yeah, she's got great video. Tipa, Teepa, and snow, like the snow. And she has great videos on dementia. Yes, yeah. Okay, well.
Thank you so much. I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed your stories and incredible. My early life was spent in teaching elementary school music, and it's so interesting how many of those strategies for building bridges and meeting people where they're at and distracting are the same kind of strategies and techniques that we use with people who are just beginning their life. So, I mean, these are it's just so interesting to see. We're human from the moment we're born to the very end of our lives. So I
And
love that.
don't be shy to reach out. You know, I'm easy to find on social media and email. And anyway, I will send you all my 5 tips. Yeah, let's keep the conversation going.
Before we pop off, I do want to share my screen one more time because Tanya has created these QR codes for us, which are great. So if you want to know more about Room 217, and you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or and just use your camera on your phone to use those QR codes to follow us on any of those platforms. So once again, thank you so much, Gertrude. That was beautiful and so wonderful. And thank you all for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And I hope to see you all soon at one of our next offerings. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you so much, Gertrude. That was wonderful. I hope to see you very soon. À bientôt.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.